Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're working on a new mower for Mr. Carlton. This is a Bilt Super Bronco. It's MTD. They're all the same, yard machine. I like the look of the Bilt. A little bit better than most, but as you can see, we've got her turned up and over. Now, Carlton got with me a little while back and asked me to put a new belt on, and he had no way to get the machine here to my little shop. Sorry, it's raining, so I gotta make this quick. So anyway, last week we went over and picked up the machine, brought it here. What we were looking at was a shredded drive belt. This belt right here that works the drive. Obviously, you see I took the deck off. The deck's over there. And I went over to his house, dropped the deck. He's got a pretty big garage, and it's pretty cool. He had a bunch of tools there that I could work with, so I didn't have to drag all my stuff. But dropped the deck off, put the belt in, and, you know, should have been no big deal. And then basically after I put on a belt, before I put on the deck or whatever, I take the machine for a test drive. And what we were getting was some smoking and some crazy noises. And it was really warm, it was really hot. It was middle of the summer here in Florida. And after 3 hours of messing around over there, 3 or 4 hours, I just got to the point where I said, look, I can't do this as a house call anymore. You know, something's going on. The belt is smoking. It's shredded for a reason. It broke for a reason. And replacing the belt is not going to take care of the problem. Something else caused it. So then he got COVID and was down for a couple of months. So anyway, brought the machine here about a week ago, and I've been messing with it. And there's a couple of things that I found so far. And this video is for Carlton, but it may also be for you. This particular machine calls for a 91-inch drive belt. It's actually 90.8 inches. And this drive belt, I put it on, and you see here how it's dragging on this arm. This is your spring arm. It's dragging on that arm. When you push down on your pedal, it's dragging on this arm. So I spent all week. I pulled the belt off again. I measured the belt. I looked up the stats on this thing, 10 ways till Sunday, called some friends. The belt is too long. It's hitting this bar. It's smoking. It's causing problems. Okay. Well, the reason for that is we had a couple of things going on. First of all, there's a bolt right up in here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a bolt right there. And what that is basically, if you can see this one here, it's the same kind of bolt here, and it's a keeper for the belts. And this bolt in particular is supposed to go up there and stop that belt from coming too far down. That takes up about 1.5 inches or 2 inches worth of length on that belt, and it has to be there. And it was missing. Now those bolts are that's exactly what they are. They're bolts. And it got loose and it fell out. And it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's problem. It's a bolt. It happens. So I had to track down a new bolt for that, a new keeper. So then I put the belt in, and it was working a little bit better. But we got a serious issue here, and we're still hitting this arm right here. So I'm working on it. I probably got 15 hours into this thing this week. 2 hours here, 3 hours there. And I can't charge him for that. First of all, he's a friend. Second of all, he's a customer. And third of all, nobody has $2,000 to put into a $1,000 tractor. So you can't charge for that. So sometimes when you're working on these machines, you just kind of got to go the extra mile. Nobody's in this business to get rich. I make plenty of money under most circumstances, and I like to take care of my customers. So here's what we got going on so far. This pulley setup here, these pulleys have gone bad. Okay, there's a little bearing inside of there on both of them. When that bolt fell out, more than likely, it put undue wear on this pulley setup. This is a double pulley setup, and these pulleys are, you know, they're a couple of bucks. Check them in your area, find out for yourself. I will tell Carlton how much they cost on the phone. So, okay, I pulled off some other pulleys from another machine temporarily to test my theory. And sure enough, 90% of the slack of that belt came out. Okay, now the belt's looking like it is supposed to be that way. You know, sometimes when you run a belt, you may run it incorrectly. Belt looks longer or shorter than it's supposed to be. These are the conundrums that you deal with. So anyway, I put the keeper bolt back in. I switched the pulleys, and the pulleys were about the same size. They weren't a perfect match because you have to order specialty pulleys for these. But it got the job done. I was able to drive this thing around my yard. Okay, no problem. Go out and do a few laps. I got, I don't know, 100, 150 feet between here and the street, and just did a few laps. And what I got was this horrible, horrible grinding sound. And if you work on any of these things, or you ever use one of your own, you know that they don't make that kind of grinding sound. So now we got to figure out what's going on. So as you can see, I pulled off the wheel, and I found the problem. I don't know if it's still in here. There it is. That, my friends, that little BB right there. See if we can zoom in on that. This is an individual, independent bearing. Basically what it is it's not an enclosed bearing like you would find on a spindle or something like that. This is where they actually took ball bearings, and that's why they call them ball bearings. They make bearings out of them. That fits into this double pulley clutch that goes right up here. Okay, this is the one that bolts to the side of the machine that you run both of the belts through, both the drive belt, the lower drive belt, and the upper drive belt. Runs through a pulley system right here. It's a clutch pulley. There it is. And this goes up and down. It's variable speed, variable drive, and that is wrecked. I don't know if you can hear that. Hopefully you can hear that on camera. The ball bearings inside of that are toast. This thing is welded. After it's put on, it's pressed, it's welded. If I wanted to spend another 20 hours, if this were my own machine and I was dead broke and couldn't afford anything, I could probably get 6 months or a year out of it. If I cut that apart, put in new bearings, greased everything up, welded it back together, and reinstalled it, I could probably buy myself some time. But these are customer machines. So that's your final problem. I put these pulleys back on. These are the ones that came with the machine. Because once I found out that the ball bearings were actually falling out of that thing, and half of them are missing, that's our grinding. Okay, when this is attached to the machine, I can't even turn it anymore. It's just stuck. But that's our grinding. And when this thing got overheated, I can't even turn it. When this thing got overheated, it drug on the belt itself. The belt tried sliding around it because that thing's moving at 3,000 RPM. So it slid the belt around the pulley. Those pulleys are wrecked. That pulley's wrecked. It shredded the belt. Now we know what the situation is. So here comes the rain. I'm going to cut this video off, upload it, and get out of the rain. See you soon.